Now, what can be the cutoff of this? Very good morning, dear students. So the prelims are over. Now, a lot of you will be having a lot of questions in your mind. What can be the cutoff this year? Is this paper actually really an easy paper, as people are saying? What should I do with my preparation? What do I do till the results come? Where should I start mains preparation? A lot of questions will be haunting you right now. Let's try to, before answering all of these, let's try to have a analysis of what kind of question was asked in 2024. Let's go subject wise. This is especially an analysis video and not a proper explanation video. We will do that in later phase. And if you want to check out your keys or get your marks, you can download this answer key from the Kalam IAS website or Telegram channel. So let's go break down the paper according to different subjects. Science Tech, we have done this Sky 5 program. In the program, we have kept things to the basics as much as possible. We have analyzed each and every article published in The Hindu, in the Indian Express from Science and Technology section. And you can see the pattern of the question also repeating from these topics. Some kind of technologies in news has been picked. The hydrogel question, a lot of other questions has some kind of XYZ things going on in the news. And even if you look a little bit more closer, almost every question related to upcoming technologies that was in the Hindu or the Indian Express explained page in news between January to April phase. So every question is taken from newspaper. When we speak a lot of times about 1.5 years current affairs, even in that you should stick or you should give a little bit more priority to January to April or May, that kind of just 4 to 5 months before the exam current affairs, you should give a little bit more focus. And a lot of questions you can see, this exam is not exactly checking your current affairs knowledge. It is more checking your awareness of the news. If at least you have read this news, you understood the underlying concept of the news. Question is not directly related to the news, but you can easily derive answers from this. There are a lot of such questions. It's again stress the importance of studying the Hindu, studying newspaper daily. It doesn't come to you if you read some XYZ material, 100-page compilation material in the end. That is your source of current affairs. You're also always going to mess up with the question. You will not be able to make these interlinkages in the examination. So this is another very important learning. Again, questions from emerging technologies. This can be on a broader scale. Last 3-4 years, what has been the new blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, metaverse, all these kind of questions are continuously being asked. So here you cannot put a time frame to this. And if you speak about common sense elimination techniques, you can see some of the questions. We will also see a lot of techniques. Every elimination techniques has worked in current, especially science and tech related questions. Major learnings: never compromise on reading newspapers and have an understanding of understanding the underlying concepts. That is more important than cramming a lot of information. Especially cramming a lot of information just 1 month or a few weeks before the exam can backfire, especially in current affairs. See this question. Consider the following aircraft: Rafale, MiG, Tejas, Mk1. How many of the above are considered fifth generation fighter aircrafts? Now only two, all three, none are the options available. So it is, if you look at the question, first thing what will come to your mind, for next prelim, should I go and read every fighter aircraft, what generation, what are the specification, what are the stealth capacities? Should I go and read everything like that? This is not the intention of putting this question. The intention of putting this question is, if you read this news all about India's indigenous fifth fighter jet advanced medium combat aircraft, AMCA, and why it is important. The news was regarding India is developing indigenous fifth generation aircraft. Currently only USA, Russia, China is having fifth generation aircraft, and India is building the prototype. In 2035, India will have this in production line. So if you understand the concept here, or if you have just gone through this news 1 or 2 months before the examination, this question is a cakewalk for you. You don't need to apply any mind. The question is not checking whether you know about MiG-29 or Tejas Mk1 or Rafale exactly. Question is checking whether you understand overall developments that is happening in this spectrum. Similarly, see this question. Giant stars. We have discussed so much on this. This is also a repeated theme. If you look at the previous questions, there was question on supernova. There was question on black hole. So all these concepts of evolution of stars we have discussed so much times in the class, from red dwarf to black holes, dwarf white, neutron star, red giant, blue giant, yellow dwarf, all these characteristics, why, what is XYZ size minimum required to become a red dwarf or yellow dwarf or blue giant or a black hole, all these concepts we have discussed in the class. And a very easy question if you little bit sticks to the themes, previously asked themes. And for next year also, this is something you should not miss. Stellar evolution, stellar phenomena from developments of black hole. But the question came on much more basic side. Answer here is D. Statement 1 is incorrect. Giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars. This is incorrect statement. And compared to dwarf stars, giant stars have a greater rate of reaction. This is a correct statement. Going ahead, with reference to RTGs, again, radio isotope thermoelectric generators, where we have discussed this. Again, a topic we have discussed in class when we discussed Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. Again, I think I got a question also from student, why usually when India launches a telescope, what is the lifetime of this telescope? 4 years, 5 years? If something special mission is there, 10 years max. But if you look at the Voyager 1 in 1970s, maybe at the time when your parents were born, this satellite was launched. And currently it has crossed this solar system and it is still traveling and it is still taking photos, still communicating with the Earth. So around 50 years it is still continuing its journey, Voyager 1. So what exactly is fueling Voyager 1? Especially it is traveling out of solar system. What exactly will work there? So this is, it is not powered by solar energy like other satellites. It is powered by this RTGs technology, radioisotope thermoelectric generators. What exactly are they? They are simply like in nuclear fission generators. What will happen? We will take some uranium molecules, uranium atoms. Then by pumping neutrons, we create instability in the nucleus of this uranium atom. And then we continuously form a controlled chain reaction. Then we extract energy out of this. This is what happens in a nuclear fission reactor. Now in RTGs, what happens is natural decay. Natural decay is being used. Natural decay of this plutonium, which is used as fuel, plutonium-238. This natural decay energy released out of this natural decay is being used for this energy source for these RTGs in Voyager 1 engine. So you can see it is not a nuclear fission per se reactor. It is not a miniature nuclear fission reactor. It uses the energy from nuclear reaction, nuclear fission, but it is using energy from something like a natural process, not like a reactor. If a statement is wrong, you will get your answer. 2 and 3 are correct, hence correct answer here is B. So very easy question, metaverse. We have discussed all these technologies. We have discussed augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, all these questions related to this. Easy question. Answer here will be metaverse. In this question, again, you can see there was development regarding to hydrogel. In April, some recent development has happened due to advancement of hydrogel. Again, you can see how these elimination techniques are working in science and tech. It is very, hydrogel is having a substance with wide range of applications. Wide range of applications. So it is very difficult to say that in this spectrum, like industrial lubricants or air conditioning, this particular thing doesn't have any applications. Very difficult statement to be true. So all these statements are correct. It has applications in all these sectors. Look at this question, fuel cell versus battery. We have discussed in class, we have discussed in our notes, in our basic classes, everything we have covered this in detail. If it is a hydrogen fuel, water vapor is the answer. Membrane bioreactors. Exactly, membrane bioreactors we have been covered in the class, but bioreactors, liquid tree, when we were discussing the liquid tree, which is used as a natural carbon sequestration technique, we have discussed this concept of bioreactors and how it is used in this air purification system. So similarly, membrane reactor is used for water treatment technology, not exactly air. Again, with reference to fluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl substances, PFAS. Again, this is a question which demands you just need to read this once. You read this once, you can easily associate this with. PFAS are compounds which are also called as forever chemicals. Why it is forever chemicals? It doesn't biologically disintegrate. It's very difficult to naturally disintegrate. That's why it is also called as forever chemicals. This is the only information you need. And what was in news, you can see again the date is April 10. USA has made some very stringent provisions in regulating these PFA compounds. So again, if you just remember this much, forever chemicals are PFAs, then you can directly eliminate. It is not easily degradable. That's why it is called as forever chemicals. If one option is eliminated, only you are left with one option, that is not easily degradable. This is correct statement. Then PFAs are found in bioaccumulation. This is all correct statement. Not easily, the correct statement is given here. So all these statements are correct. Rest of this are directly you can associate it with not just PFAs, any of these chemical compounds, any of these XYZ plastic pollutants you can associate other statements with. See this statement, net zero industry emissions. Now here also you can easily apply the elimination technique. The European Parliament approved Net Zero Industry Act recently. So this has been in February, this has been passed, this was in news. So there is very high chance for this to be correct. And if you look at the nature of this statement also, it's a very straightforward question. Now come to the second question, part of the question. European Union intends to achieve carbon neutrality by 2040 and aims to develop all of its clean technology by that time. All of its clean technology, extreme, by that time. 2040 data is given. Again, data can be right also in some questions we have seen. It doesn't exactly follow the pattern, but there is high chance this to be get right. All of its technology, no country can be technologically self-sufficient in this globalized era. Every country will have technological interlinkages. So this is a very extreme statement, cannot be right, and you will easily get your answer. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 2 is incorrect. Mitra Shakti, only thing you need to remember, it is an joint military exercise between India and Sri Lanka. You got this wrong, you got your answer. D is your answer. Chief of Defense Staff, we have news according to these. We have again the importance of explained. A lot of topic which is asked in Prelims 2024 have been covered in this Indian Express explained page. So give a lot of importance to this. Try to cover this explained page on a regular basis. Don't wait for institutes, compilations, and mug all the facts. That is going to backfire in 2025 or upcoming examinations. Keep a tag on your newspaper and explained as well as editorial pages. So here answer is 1 and 3. So go ahead. I'm not spending. Army, lot of question came. This is quite a little difficult question because it was in news in February 2023. Answer here is C, Operation Sadbhavana. Now a little bit discussion on international relations question. You can see none of the questions this year came from these reports and indices, which we always consider as a favorite topic of UPSC. And questions on international organization also. If you look what are the common organizations we study, WTO, UN related organizations, or WEF, these kind of organizations which we come across on a regular basis, questions were not from these organizations. Organization questions were quite difficult, like World Toilet Organization or Grains Council or 100 million farmers question. All these were little bit on tougher side. But if you look at this, one of the most prominent repeated theme in this section is question on conflict areas. So last 2 years, there to 3 years, if you look 2021, 22, 23, there has been consistently question coming from conflict areas. 2 years continuously we got question on Ukraine map related question. Now questions are a little bit evolving, it is going out of this box, so mapping also. Other type of related questions are coming, but you can see the point. World में कुछ किधर भी conflict area हो रहा है, you should know, have absolute awareness of this. Not just map, you should have a broad idea what exactly is the problem here, what exactly is happening here. Broad picture should be very much clear in your mind. 5 question has came from directly from conflict areas across the world. Some of the questions we can see, this is a question on World Toilet Organization. I will consider this is a quite difficult question because we are not really used to these kind of organizations. Again, you can see International Grains Council, you can apply some elimination techniques here also. India is a member of this organization. Grains Council, it is a, you can say, altruistic council. India, obviously India has wheat exports, India has rice exports, so there is high chance India can be a part of this. Country needs to be a member of this organization for exporting or importing. This is like a statement questioning the sovereign rights of the country. How can an organization say you cannot export or you cannot import this grain, especially a food grain? This is a very extreme statement and cannot be right. Here answer is A. 100 million farmers, answer is A. It is a platform for accelerating transition towards food and water systems that are net zero, nature positive, and aims to increase farmer resilience. Again, it's quite difficult question considering the very close nature of options being provided. Consider the following statements. Statement 1, there is instability. Again, a question on instability. Sahel region instability is being asked. You can see answer here is A. Venezuela has been asked again. Venezuela. Ukraine को छोड़ दिया, अभी वेनेजुएला को पकड़ लिया. See Venezuela question also you can answer with common sense. Rapid recovery. How can a country have rapid recovery from economic crisis? If something like that is happening, we will have an example of this. We will have learned some case studies regarding this. So we are not hearing like that. Still people are fleeing Venezuela. So rapid recovery is quite an extreme statement. Venezuela, then in this statement question, if you know one statement is incorrect, you already got the answer. Answer here is D. So this should be correct statement. See the again question. World's economic crisis. Argentina, Sudan, war between regular army and paramilitary forces. Turkey rescinded its membership. With how many of the two pairs are correct? Again, zoomed pipeline is being asked. Both these statements are correct and it is correct explanation of A. You can see this news also in news in January 2024 regarding the tensions that is happening around Red Sea. Quite an easy question. Again, this we will discuss from art and culture section. Economy, if you look at where the questions have been coming, I'll say many of these questions are very conceptual in nature. You should be having very strong hold of concepts, and many concepts are also being repeated from PYQs. If you analyze the PYQs and you do the PYQs correctly for economy and read any of the major sources, any of one book correctly, you can easily answer this. Some of the questions we have from RBI websites. So if you are interested, if you are curious about it, you can keep a tab on RBI websites. Some of the notifications, important developments that is coming in this. But again, the questions from these are not the primary objectives. Your primary should be you understand the basic concepts, and many questions from money concepts is being asked here. So fundamentals is being checked from these PLUF, primary, secondary, tertiary, all these kind of farmers PLUF question, all these questions you can see the primary understanding, basic understanding of the concept is being evaluated in economy. See this question, India does not import apples from USA. In India, law prohibits import of genetically modified food without approval of competent authority. Again, this has been covered in class regarding to mustard, genetically modified mustard and its complications in India. You already can easily remember this. Only we have BT cotton in the market. For mustard, it has been trying for a long time, and Indian government, considering the unintended consequences can be very severe, it's withholding this. So this is statement which should be correct. Again, this India does not import any of the apple. It is very extreme statement. this can be wrong statement. 1 is incorrect, statement 2 is correct. That is the answer for this. Digital rupee question, very easy question. We have covered this in class. UPI and digital rupee, central bank digital currency interoperability. This has been in news also. Otherwise also digital rupee is very much an important concept. 1, 2, 4 is the answer. The again, insured against inflation by its very design. What is insured? Nothing is digital rupee. Digital rupee is simply a central bank issued fiat currency. It doesn't has any inbuilt features to protect your. There is no zero interest. This inflation comes into picture when the currency is having any this interest value or its value increases over a period of time. There is nothing like that in digital rupee. So this is very wrong statement. 1, 2, and 4 is the correct answer here. Syndicated banking, again, it's quite a difficult question I consider. Social loan, there was concept of social loan in news. That too, news was little more than 1 year old. So it was a little bit difficult questions. Correct answer here is C. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 2 is incorrect. In geography, I'm very surprised. In geography and environment, quite a dominant number of questions has been asked from this section. You can see 33 questions from geography and environment. 1/3 of the paper is coming from this section only. See this, how much importance this section is having. If you are preparing for 2025, go and prepare this section very clearly. You cannot miss out this huge section amount of marks. Previously also it is being repeated. 27 questions was there in 2023, but now the numbers has again gone up. You can see a dominant role of these come from physical geography. Lot of questions from physical geography has been asked, and this is playing a much bigger role. If you learn GC Lyon, you may be having a very good time during the examination. Somebody who has neglected NCERTs or give less importance to understanding the basic big questions ka bhi nature dekho, which is not like very factual questions are not being too much covered. Questions are from the understanding concepts, from application of the concepts. So it is more like questions that were coming in geography in 2019 and before that years. So that kind of a pattern is being repeating. So focus a lot on understanding the conceptual understanding related to this, and some of the themes which are again repeated from last 2-3 years is species in news and maps. Question from mapping questions. So these are things which you cannot avoid. If you are preparing for 2025 species, you should keep a very strong note of this. Again, continuously question is coming. This year it was tougher side, it was on tougher side, and it was on specific details. So being said, there is consistently 2-3 questions coming from this. So you should keep a note on, if you're reading newspaper, some species is there, keep a note of this. Same goes with the maps also. A lot of questions coming from maps, from Indian maps, from global maps. There are 4-5 questions related to maps. These are the themes which we asked in last 2-3 years and has been continued this year also. GC Lyon, NCERTs, and never miss current affairs based themes like species, maps, etc. That is major takeaway from geography. So Indian flying fox, this was a question, quite a difficult question. Correct answer here is C. Lion, also a little bit difficult questions considering the closeness it is having a particular breeding season. Very peculiar facts are being asked. Unlike other big cats, cheetahs do not roar. Correct answer here is 1 and 2. This is incorrect statement. And Coriolis was very easy question. If somebody who has done the basics correctly, somebody who can explain why there is no cyclone happening at the equator. We have discussed this in class also when we discussed about low altitude cyclones or equatorial cyclones. That is a new development that is happening. So very easy. It is maximum at poles absent such equation. Correct statement is increases with wind velocity. Correct statement. B is the answer. So again, a map question, you can see this is on international map. North Sea is being asked. Again, India has interest in North Sea. So there has been articles, news regarding these also. So this is also something which has been going on in news. A question has been picked from this. So again, this question, sulfur dioxide. Again, sulfur pollution, sulfur dioxide, which is a recurring topic in news. Again, number 7 regarding Delhi pollution issues. We had this covered in news. Answer here is D. History, art and culture. If you look, 12-13 questions are being asked every year, and this year also 12-13. The number has been maintained. But internal reorganization, there has been huge changes. There was a time I remember when we used to say that this ancient or medieval, don't study too much, or you can say partially just read some book NCERTs and finish it off, and will keep full focus on modern India. But that is not the case in 2024. If you look at what the questions asking, 8 questions have been asked from ancient and medieval India. One question, that is also pre-1957, one question from modern India. Now, you cannot take this, extrapolate this and say that for next year I will not study modern India. Sometimes the trend can completely reverse. So this is not a consistent trend. You should not focus too much. But one takeaway you can take from this is you're not going to neglect this ancient and medieval India. 3 questions from post-independence history. So this is continuously being asked. 1, 2 questions. This is 3 questions were asked from post-independence history. So it will be wise if you at least read one material regarding post-independence history. Now in art and culture, if I look these questions like current linked questions, this has been in news in 2023 also. We have discussed, we have covered many of these questions in our history booklet. So similarly, the trend has been extrapolated for this year also. The UNESCO questions, if you can remember, this has been from this section. So again, one more thing, in ancient and medieval India, some of the most repeated themes like Buddhism, Jainism. There was this year also a question from Buddhism, Jainism. Then this Vijayanagara Empire. This year also this Batkal fort regarding question was there. So again, these favorite repeated themes of UPSC, they are not leaving behind their themes. They are sticking to their themes. So go through PYQs, study these theme related facts very strongly for next 2025 prelims. Again, you can see the UNESCO questions which has been linked, art and culture question linked to current affairs. You can see Garbas is the correct answer here. B, only 2 statement is the correct answer in this. Again, Polity, if you look, Polity was a savior this year. I see a lot of students saying it was quite an easy segment of this UPSC. Again, you can see Lakshmikant, there is no substitute for Lakshmikant. If you go on for this examination without thoroughly revising Lakshmikant, you are going to be doomed. You are going to be missing the lowest hanging fruits of this examination. So thoroughly study Lakshmikant, especially those chapters, initial chapters of fundamental rights, fundamental duties, parliament, all these chapters you should have an absolute idea. And this year usually we get questions like on republic, on liberty, on freedom. These kind of conceptual questions was missing this year. And you can see articles, acts, recent acts. So a lot of questions was important was given to recent acts, facts related to this. So this has been a repeating theme. So you should keep a development on if government is passing a particular act. Major facts of this act you should be well aware of. Significant question. A lot of polity questions are directly linked to current affairs. So current development is happening, like the elections are coming. So dissolution of Lok Sabha is happening. So what happened to the bills? Similarly, the question of the speaker. A lot of questions you will see also. Ethics committee question, Mahua Moitra, the suspension of MPs. All of these things were in news. So that's why the linked question has been asked. When question is coming, it is not coming on the particular case of Mahua Moitra or any of the recent development. The question is coming on the basics of this. What is the logicality of this committee? What is the technical things within this community? Who can give the complaint? Who can process the complaint? All these things have been question being asked on this. So you can see the question, what happened to Lok Sabha when a bill is being lapse. So you can see a lot of articles, not just this, lot of articles you can see on this regarding newspapers. B is the correct answer. 1 and 2 statements are correct. Northeast Council, which is also a very much in news topic. We have ministry for this Northeast Council, which has been in news for multiple reasons. And this is 52 years ago how there was an again explained, again importance of explained. Indian Express or the Hindu also has explained right now. So keep a tag on this. I am not stress this more. All the 4 is the answer for this. Delimitation Commission. This was a slightly difficult question, I will say, because factual information was required. But again, if you see, a lot of controversies happening regarding Delimitation Commission. It is also being covered in our materials, our news also. It was the correct answer here is D, 71st Amendment Act. At least if you know this, see the exact information is provided in this booklet. Its schedule has been covered in this. So at least if you know that the Maithili was added to this in 2003, you got the answer. You just need to eliminate 1, 1, 2, 3 is the answer. Hey is the answer here. Right to privacy, very easy question. Similarly, which of the statements, ethics committee, the Mahua Maitra case, the suspension of 100 MPs was happening. So all this, in all this context, this ethics committee was the news. 1 and 3 is the correct answer. Again, there is little bit controversy regarding this question. Government schemes, again, this is something which was missing from UPSC. For last few years, we have seen this was asking in 2016, 17, 18 papers, but then it goes extinct. Now it is coming back. If you look at these papers, 4 questions from government schemes. That is also regarding the specific facts related to the schemes as being asked. Can see some of the questions here on Digital India Land Records Modernization Scheme. Again, PIBs, Indian Express, all these were in news, and prominent schemes are always you see they are asking some scheme which you haven't heard of. All these schemes are very famous in news. Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matru, flagship scheme under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So this has been, if you look at the PIB, again, direct article was published on health schemes for rural women. You just read this article, it is directly picked from this article. Correct answer here is B. Again, some of the elimination technique also work here. See how technical this statement has been made. Like a package of antenatal care services, all this trimesters, 3 months, 6 months, it is made very complex. So if you look at the common sense also, you can answer this question. Again, Pradhan Mantri Yogi, Shram Yogi Mandan Yojana, which has been covered in PIBs also. Correct answer here is B, 2 and 3 only. Consider the following statement regarding Nari Shakti Vandan Abhiyan. Again, so famous scheme. The government has passed this with a lot of celebration, a lot of talk was on this, a lot of articles were written on this. A question coming, if this such a famous question is picked. Sometimes you remember a couple of years back there was a question on Manreka. So question is coming from, nobody is going to ask what is the purpose of Manreka. So question is coming from very famous schemes. It is going to be a difficult question. It is going to be a factual question. It is going to be test your correct understanding, deeper understanding of this topic. Correct answer is 2 and 3. It will come into 18th Lok Sabha. B aa gaya hai. Election ka baat. If you remember 18th Lok Sabha, this is also common sense. 18th Lok Sabha, be elected into the parliament. So this time we don't have any implications of this. This comes into only after delimitation. Again, delimitation is in news. So it will be implemented only for 19th Lok Sabha. 2029 election se hi implement hoga. So this again is incorrect. It will be enforced for 15 years after becoming a correct statement. And obviously, if women reservation is given, the other reservation, there will be subcategorization like we have in these 73 and 74th Amendment Act. Similar provisions will be kept. So here answer, even if you look at the again factual questions, we have discussed this previous also. In those questions where are more than one fact, there is high chance that one of this fact will be correct. So in this question, this fact is correct and this fact is incorrect. And this was from this perspective an easy question. If you know this is 18th Lok Sabha and this in this it is not being implemented, you can eliminate all other options and we are left with C. So this is the whole picture of subject-wise an overview of what kind of questions being asked. Now, if you look at technicalities of the question, I will say one more thing. This year there has been question of 3 columns. Question of 3 column question. 2 questions. One is this brigadier question. Second one is this fold mountains, Vogers, all this question. This is a new type of question that is being asked. Again, we have seen this statement kind of question that is being asked one time in 2022. Then in 23 it becomes huge. This, if UPSC next year want to increase the difficulty, this is a technical area they can look into this. Now, what can be the cutoff of this? Cutoff, if I frankly speak, if 2023 paper and 2024 paper, as per information with talking with a lot of students, or we have an overview, 2023 paper is considerably doable paper. There have been a lot of easy questions from all different sections. Being said, this is not something like, not negating the papers, completely easy paper, I'm not saying, but comparing to 2023, it has been an easy paper. There has been most doable topics selection also being asked from relevant topics which you are aware about. And in pattern also, you can see many of the question elimination techniques, common sense has been very well operating. 2023, we were of the notion that whether these are not working or not, but it is more like a 2021, 22 paper. So, and CSAT, if you look 2023 CSAT, it was come out of a blue moon. It was completely difficult for the students to handle this difficulty. And some kind of a resilience mechanism, students have gone this year well prepared. And if you look at the CSAT, it was much more doable. Maybe English section is a little bit on confusing side, but math was doable, reasoning was doable. So good number of students will cross the cutoff of 1/3 marks or 68 marks. Taking all this into consideration, cutoff is going to definitely rise. It is going to be in 70s. It can go to somewhere near 90, 92, 92, 95 beach mein aa sakta hai. Now for students, anyone who is getting a marks above 85. See, last year we have seen every institute has made 10, 15 questions wrong. This year papers are a lot more normalcy in the paper. This much of the wrong in the answer key will not be there. But at least take this liberty of saying that at least 2-3 questions of this every institute key will be wrong. So if in taking that errors margin into consideration, if you are scoring somewhere around 85, don't waste your 2 weeks. Prepare yourself very thoroughly for the mains. Somewhere around 85 marks. Don't waste your 2 weeks till the results have been announced. Go for full throttle mains preparation. Take your break, take your rest for 1, 2 days, 3 days. That's it. Go back to your study. Not lose your steam. For somebody who has completely out of the margin, say scoring something in 60s, what I will say is you need to go back to your basics. You need to again revamp your mains preparation. You are also not you cannot miss this next few months or next time till December and start your preparation then. So make your plans accordingly. You should also try to improvise this mains marks improvement, mains study techniques you should all learn, because we see a lot of toppers also, they have lost some prelims, then this 1 year gap they are getting, they have explored, they have used this 1 year to improve their knowledge, improve their techniques of answer writing, improve their optionals. So they find their weak areas and they worked on this. So this will be my guideline to you. Again, what an overall, if somebody is targeting 2024, I will say go and start reading newspaper. Current affairs, we will have a number of courses by the time prelims comes, but at the exam hall, what is going to help you is your current awareness that you built over a period of time. So don't compromise on newspapers. Secondly, this paper is not a current affairs paper. This paper is a static paper. Current affairs are just a part and parcel of this. So if somebody who is going to this examination by compromising on standard books, the standard books which teachers tell you, Lakshmikant, all these standard books, somebody who is neglecting the standard books and trying to cram information from some XYZ compilations, don't do that. Stick with your standard books, and this is going to help you. On this broad note, we are ending today's session. I hope you enjoyed the session. That's all for now. Thank you so much.